Alright, hey guys, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to break down a couple of things. One, I'm going to break down mystery method itself as a system. I'm going to let you guys know what about it is good and what about it is bad, and ultimately why it's not used today. Number two, I'm going to break down mystery's infield itself. Was he actually good at game? Did he actually know what he was talking about? Alright, with that being said, let's get into the video.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess, 'cause I've been living wrong.
So something you guys probably don't know about me is that for the first year or two of me gaming, I actually used to practice mystery method. It was actually the first thing I ever got into. I didn't know about RSD or any other, pickup company for another, oh good lord, like 2-3 years. Then I learned about natural game from Gambler, if you guys ever seen Gambler. And then from there, I just kept practicing and getting better. 7 years later, here we are. So today, I'm actually going to go back to mystery method. I'm going to look at it, I'm going to break it down, let you guys know what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and why today it's outdated. Okay, so first things first, let's get into the method itself. Now, for a lot of you guys that don't know, mystery has a tier system, basically like a system of play by play by play. All right, so firstly, he does his A1, A2, A3, which moves into the C1, C2, C3. The last one is the intimacy phase, basically where you do the foreplay, where you get the intimacy and you try to have sex. So the first three parts of the A1 part is peacocking, the 3-second rule, and a neg. Now, firstly with peacocking. Personally, now peacocking itself as an idea, like I guess was a smart thing. Like he's like, if you're one of these guys who dresses like this and you're still confident, like cool, you're gonna get shit tested, you're gonna pass, cool. Now me personally, I don't believe in this. I think peacocking there's way better ways to display like attraction. Okay, I dress like somebody who gets girls. I think that's a lot more important. I fit a cliche that girls are used to seeing when they see a guy who's good with women. I wear clothes that guys that are good with women, that they have had good interactions with in the past, get with girls. If you're taking on another cliche, or maybe you're dressing clothes that are not really very attractive looking, like a girl's gonna instantly off the open assume it's gonna be an awkward conversation. Now, if you look like a guy who has good conversations, generally speaking, you probably are one of those guys, especially if you approach really well. You approach really good, eye contact, pausing, all that kind of stuff. Generally speaking, a girl's gonna assume the conversation is gonna go well and she's gonna like you. Now, with the 30-second rule, I actually think this is a great thing. I think it's super smart. Now, firstly, if you take too long to approach, the problem is that, it starts going through your head, you start burning willpower because now you're like, oh no, should I approach? I shouldn't, I should approach, I shouldn't, I should approach. Now, because you're thinking this, you're basically just burning willpower doing this instead of just approaching. If you have that, you need to start building that instinct to just approach. Now, the 3-second rule, I like it, I guess. It does make sense. I don't know why it's specifically 3 seconds. It should just be just go. Just make it a habit, but still a good rule. I like it. Now, negs are interesting. Now, this is something I personally started getting back into recently. Now, with negs themselves, negs are good, but they're good only with certain types of girls. Usually the types of girls that I don't like. Now, if you guys have ever seen a Julian video, you guys have seen a lot of negs, whether you know it or not. Now, a neg is basically, for those of you guys who don't know, a neg is basically something you say to make a girl feel self-conscious. Now, the thing is, a high self-esteem girl, like legit a high self-esteem girl, a girl that's not validation seeking, she's not, doesn't have any character flaws or anything like that, basically just a well-developed, all-around kind of person. Basically the kind of girl that I like. A neg would actually just bounce right off her. She wouldn't even notice it. Now, with a really very up there LA type girl, a girl that's so if you ever approach a girl and she doesn't even look at you, let's say that you put it out there, you were very vocal about this, and you know for sure without a doubt the girl heard you, because sometimes you guys will approach a girl, you guys will not approach her maybe loud enough where you guys won't get within her eye range. She won't look at you because she thinks that, alright, so if a girl looked at everybody that ever said anything, she could be misconstrued as a slut or something like that. So most girls, if they aren't sure that somebody's talking to them, they won't look. Now, if you know for sure that she knows for sure that you're trying to talk to her, then in that case, she might be one of those LA types. Now, an LA type girl is somebody that, so when you approach her, she's just all right, so for example, hey, how's it going? What are you up to? Basically, they're just not reacting. They generally get approached and they're very, non-reactive. So what do you have to do? You have to get them to react emotionally. You have to get their attention and get on their radar. You have to get, an emotional reaction out of them. A good way to do it is to get a neg them. Now, again, I do this sometimes because I think it's fun, because I love game and I love pushing myself. would I ever date a girl like this? Fuck no. But with that being said, like, it's really good skill set to have. If you want to be like a master at game, it's kind of a cool thing to be able to do. That, like, the Julian videos where Julian is really manipulating girls, I guess. Like, now, like a high self-esteem type person, you don't manipulate. You basically are yourself with, and from there, like, they get attracted because you're just a dope ass motherfucker. Now, a girl like this, though, a girl that doesn't, if you're like too cool or you're too confident, a girl will like kind of get almost like, you know, like, will reject you so she doesn't feel like she gets rejected herself. So that's not the way you do it. Instead, you act like an asshole. You act like a loser. You act like a douchebag. Like, in a playful way. In a playful way, before any of you guys start like fucking like, you know, doing this other shit. Before I get like killed by all the feminists. Don't do that. The next part is canned lines. I actually love canned lines. Now, the fact that people like nowadays say that there's no such thing as canned lines, or that you shouldn't use canned lines, that's stupid. Canned lines are super helpful. Nobody's in the zone 100% of the time. Yes, you can teach yourself to get in the zone, but when you're out of the zone, let's say like you're out of it, maybe you're tired, maybe you're like, you had a bad breakup, like canned lines are fucking amazing. And not to mention, even if you don't think you have canned lines, if you go out a lot, you're naturally developing canned lines. Every pickup artist I know that I gamed with, and I gamed with a lot of the top best pickup artists in the world, they've all have had canned lines. They all have canned lines. They all use lines that they've used previously. It's just a pickup artist thing. It's like, if you're going to do this shit and you want to be really good at it, it really helps out to have canned lines from when you were in the zone. You can use them later. It's a very helpful skill set. Like, just having like stuff in the back of your head, maybe conversation topics, maybe like a certain line that was hilarious before, use it again. Just make sure you're not like fucking sounding canned. Make it sure you're sounding like you're saying it authentically. And at best, make sure you're feeling it. Like I say shit that I think's funny. And if it was funny the first time, I can make myself laugh at it the second time. Like, it's like legit funny. Like, I actually find it funny. I know how to push my fucking buttons and get myself into a happy mood. That's why canned lines are so important. False time constraints, dope, awesome. However, old mystery method was under the assumption that you had to be with the girl for like 3 to 8 hours to have sex with her. That's totally not true. I've had like 5, 15, like 20-minute pulls, like where I had sex with a girl. Like, that was an old limiting belief. You don't have to. However, if a girl's in a rush, now, if you approach a girl in the daytime and she's walking really fucking fast, you have to do a time constraint. That's very important in that specific situation. Very important. Now, if you do it in any other situation, you don't really have to. Like, it's just like kind of slow down the girl, like make her like kind of calm down so she can actually interact with you as a person. And then you obviously, you know, you understand she has to get somewhere. All right, grab her number really fast. Let her know you think she's cute. You don't know her that well yet, but you'd like to get to know her. All right, you don't know if you guys would like be compatible in a mental kind of way, but you know, at least physically you're attracted to her. You hope that she'll hit you back so you guys can like find that out. Now, with DHVs and DHVs, I honestly don't believe in. Now, you can totally demonstrate this. So you demonstrate DHVs by the way you act, by how congruent you are with your emotions, by showing and passing shit tests over the course of you knowing her. Now, with me, I am naturally a cool ass motherfucker. I'm a cool dude. So I don't have to like really DHV. I show it by the way I am, by the way that I react to my friends, to situations. When shit hits the fan, I'm calm. DHVs, like if you're actually like, do one of these things. So DHV, for a lot of you guys who don't know, it's demonstration of higher value. So basically you like tell some kind of story that proves that you're like this like well-off kind of guy and shit. But honestly, like you don't, that just sounds braggart and it sounds like low self-esteem. It sounds like you're trying. You don't ever want to be like that in set. That sounds terrible. You don't do that shit. Okay, now with push-pull. Push-pull is basically the idea of attraction and comfort. Now, generally speaking, girls will not date you or fuck you if they feel like you're too attractive or too comfortable. All right, now let's say you approach a fat chick and you're a very confident, well-dressed, put-together guy. And you approach her in a confident way. How do you think the girl's going to react to you? She's going to reject you. Do you know why? Because you're too high value, so she wants to reject you before you reject her so you don't hurt her ego. So she can go back to her friends, telling her friends how she rejected the cute guy that came up to her instead of her like constantly like kind of bashing herself about how she got rejected by this cool guy. So what you want to do is, if I were to approach like a fat girl, not necessarily a fat girl, just maybe like a girl that's like not so attractive, a girl that I wouldn't generally date, I would actually act shy. I'd be like, hey, I'm sorry, I thought you were really cute and I want to talk to you. Now see, that would be the only way to actually attract her because now I'm within her boundaries. Now, if a girl's more attractive and she thinks I'm below her, like generally speaking, you can fix that by eye contact. You can fix that by the way you talk. You can also do pushes and pulls and like funny, and you say like funny lines, express your personality, express that you're a very well put together, non-nervous type of guy. And then you're like on her level. Now, if you're dissing on her maybe slightly or negging or like one of those other things, you can like go too far up again, and then the girl's gonna reject you. So again, it's a balance. You want to stay in between. Push pull, one of the most clever things mystery method ever came up with, honestly. Now, I do hate how he puts the attraction and comfort in separate areas. Now, honestly, I do like that he puts attraction first and he puts comfort second. You always want to lead with attraction first, because honestly, like, all right, so if I were to approach a girl, generally speaking, I want to act more like slightly like a D-bag, because I can always drop it back a little bit and then I can be comfortable with the girl, and then I can be like a nice guy. Now, with that being said, you can do both at the same time. We know that nowadays. You can do both comfort and attraction at the same time. By like me giving eye contact gives both attraction and comfort at the same time. Storytelling gives both attraction and comfort at the same time. Not to mention that like kind of making them a separate system. This is honestly why I hate systems. Game is not like playing a piano. It's not a hard skill. It's a soft skill. You can't make a system that's gonna like fucking fit every situation. You'd rather learn the fundamentals and understand game on an intuitive level, and then from there be able to play it. Like you can't like, A1, A2, A3. Now another thing is like he does these little like routines in games like the cube, which is so overplayed. It's heard so many fucking times. I mean, it's not bad for conversation fillers, but like, I don't know, it's corny. Now, when it comes to LMR, I'm not talking about it because that will get me skewered. And when it comes to sex, you guys watch plenty of Pornhub to like, know plenty about it.
You dirty ass motherfuckers.
Secondly, let's get into his infield. I'll break it down for you guys.
I never bothered to ask until this moment, why is everyone wearing fucking white?
It's an all-white party.
Hi.
I thought you were asking us.
Huh? Oh, no, I'm asking you now, yes.
Oh. So no, there's a birthday party.
All right, that was actually pretty good and clever. I actually did like it. Now, see, what I think is really funny is that Mystery might not be as good as like a lot of the like top pickup artists. Like he might not be on my top 10 pickup artist list like today. However, he's like better than 90% of all pickup artists on YouTube today. And that's really fucking pathetic. Like that was really clever, honestly. So he opened, he span around, like did a little takeaway. Now see, that wouldn't work with every girl. Like that would just work with a certain type of girl, which honestly you just have to calibrate. But yeah, on that set, it did work. And it was fucking hilarious. It was kind of just, yeah, it was a smart move. I liked it.
Because I like the position. Who's?
Now, something about Mystery too is that he's not afraid to break rapport. Now, the fact that he's willing to break rapport too tells me that he's somebody that actually like went hard and like hit it pretty good. Like he approached pretty hard. The reason being is because he's not afraid to push social boundaries, meaning that he probably pushed social boundaries a lot in the past and he had to kind of work his way through it. Either that or he's a hammer type person and he had to learn emotions. Either way, like he did push his craft pretty hard. Like that's to me like kind of says it in itself.
His name is Fred. Yeah.
Is he Israeli?
Yes.
I knew that. Imagine.
I think I heard that you asked that when you first walked in. You guys
No,
were like,
but
what?
no, yeah, but I didn't ask anybody in white, so I didn't know what the answer was.
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
And now it is. Okay, you can go now. Thanks.
So,
Women, you're starting already.
you what?
Crazy. You're starting already. I lost my voice. Last week I didn't, we'll just call it an event.
Basically, he started off with building attraction. Honestly, like he could have done a little bit more like, like pull early on. Like that was the problem with him doing so much push in the beginning, was that he would kind of push away a lot of girls that he probably could have had because he's doing too much push. However, when he's doing so much push in the beginning, it's also getting like the low self-esteem girls chasing him. So it did work to a certain extent, with those type of girls, but that kind of style would not work with every type of girl. However, in this one, he did like kind of find some girls that were kind of like, starting to chase him a little bit. It was perfect. That was kind of cool. Oh, and for a lot of you guys who are wondering why I hate low self-esteem girls, low self-esteem girls are the type of girls that are really apt to lie to themselves. They're really apt to like do crazy shit if you don't text them back. They're likely to have an STD that's pretty bad, fuck you without a condom, and not even have remorse over it. They're also the type of girl that if you cross them, they're gonna say, that you raped them. Okay? Like, that's why I don't like fucking low self-esteem girls. Like, if you guys want to, like, practice and, like, kind of, get good with those types, like, I'm all for it. With that being said, don't fucking date them. Like, try your best not to, or, like, generally, like, let them know where you live. But yeah, like, and long story short, I hate low self-esteem type girls.
And
Musician?
we'll just call it an event for now. I don't know you that well yet. But afterwards, we celebrated like it was the end of Ocean's 11. And we went out to a party. And I don't know how it ended up happening, but we were in some VIP area of some cool club, and I ended up talking my ass off.
Okay, so this is going back to he's DHVing right now. It comes across really braggart, honestly. Like, as you guys can hear this, it sounds braggart. He's bragging. It's very obvious. I can even tell he's bragging. Like, a girl's gonna see he's bragging. That's actually gonna be like dropping her attraction, honestly, because now he's like low self-esteem. Again, like a certain percentage of girls are gonna like just, you know, be like, whatever, you know, I like the other parts of him, but like it's still like kind of dropping him a little bit.
And I lost my voice. It wasn't from the event. Perhaps that assisted in it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was from
Have you ever heard of a guy named Uri Geller?
Uri Geller.
Uri Geller. Wait 1 second. Into this.
It's weird though.
Roll up. I thought
That too is really clever. So basically he's now getting her to do what he wants. Now you can do like more like a ladder. This is a sales technique. Get somebody to do a little bit of something for you, then a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. If you guys ever went through any of these pickup sales funnels, I'm going to tell you guys a secret right now. Usually what they'll do is start off with a free product, then you have to buy the $3 product, then you have to buy the $5 product, the $10 product, then you're buying like a $100 product, then you're buying a boot camp. Like, it's basically just baby stepping. He's baby stepping her. Like, if you get a girl to do like a little bit of something, a little bit more, eventually she's going to be a lot more willing to do the big thing. As opposed to if you did nothing with her and then you tell her to do big thing, it doesn't seem that big a deal in comparison to the, you know, the things previous. So him getting her to like come across the room like that, pretty dope. She's getting used to following his commands, dope. One of my fundamentals, domination. He's doing a good job.
I'd introduce you. These are my friends.
Hello, friends.
Valerie, this is Yahoo.
Kristen.
Oh, yes, Kristen.
Now, this is pre-selection. I actually do this exact same thing. Now, what he's doing is he's taking her to some girls he met earlier in the night, and he's introducing them. Now, it looks like to them that he knows all them, and it looks like to them that he knows her. So now he has pre-selection in both sides of things. They don't know the actual interaction. Basically, like, as soon as he stops talking, they won't talk too much together, but like in among itself, it will actually help him out in the long run.
Nice to
Kristen
meet
1
you.
and 2.
All right. You got something in common already.
I'm curious about you. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah? I mean, don't get too big of a head. What's your first impression of black males?
My first impression?
Okay, get this. Get this. I was in an elevator. I've learned not to smoke and speak at the same time. Do you smoke?
I don't. Well, I try not to. I mean, they're busy all day. I teach. I should. I can't.
Are you drinking?
I don't smoke cigarettes, but I smoke regulars.
Oh, I love you. Good girl. Okay, get off me. That's all you get. Nice.
Yeah. So,
What's the weirdest, or not weirdest, what's the most profound moment you've had smoking weed?
oh God. I heard that it was like. All right, I'll tell you because it completely just stuck out on my brain. It was when I was in 7th grade.
He's actually doing something really interesting too. Now, what I usually teach is eye contact. I think eye contact is super powerful, especially if you do it in like a very like powerful kind of way. But the way he's using his eye contact is purposeful. He's looking away to get her to chase. He's basically like acting as if he's disinterested. So he's like, if she says something, he acts like he's disinterested, so he looks away. That's not a bad thing to do. I do the same thing sometimes. I always feel like more eye contact, like, so me personally, I'm naturally shy, so I'll usually lean towards less eye contact. You don't always want to like just be like laser eye contact all the time. I actually need to like kind of clear this up a bit. Me, I was shy. Like naturally I don't want to hold eye contact, so I gotta focus on it. If I focus on eye contact, like generally speaking, I'll get the right mixture of eye contact. You holding eye contact, then you can use it as like maybe like a takeaway kind of thing. Like that's clever. I do that to an extent. I do that sometimes, especially when I'm in the zone. But like this is a good way to do it.
Would you say you were interested in psychology rather, or fascinated by it? I am utterly fascinated by social dynamic interaction. I'm going to show you something cool for shits and giggles. All right. Just because you're holding it. Hold it here. Good. Stand right here a little bit. Nice. Ordinarily, I'd have more of a crowd, but I prefer just being one-on-one right now. I lost my voice. Like this. I'm going to imagine energy. This imagination, okay? And I'm going to imagine it in your drink. Fair? Now, aside from the wind blowing that a little bit, I think you'll appreciate this. Wait, fear and excitement are the same adrenaline release, all right? This is exciting. Welcome to my world. Watch this. Watch this. Watching. Watch. Now. Describe what you feel.
That was fascinating. That was absolutely fascinating. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay, this video is already getting super fucking long, so I don't want to bug you guys too much with this shit. So I'm gonna cut it fairly short. Mystery was back in the day one of the best, and to be honest, like he's pretty good. Like if you were here around today, he actually wouldn't be that bad. The system itself though is flawed because it doesn't teach the things that matter the most in game, and it's all over the fucking place. There's too much shit to memorize. The things that he has you memorize and all the little shit is distracting from the big blocks that he teaches. Like, and he doesn't teach like the big ones all the time. So that's the problem with the mystery method. Mystery method is way too fucking complicated and hard to like learn. There's other things out there like just learning the fundamentals. It's way easier to learn, and you don't have to like learn how to act and shit like as much. Like basically it's all you. Like if you learn game the right way, you should be learning to be more yourself. You should be learning to like basically just be more in like a charismatic version of yourself, as opposed like maybe learning to act like maybe mystery here, like learning to use his canned lines, then use them yourself. Like me, all my canned lines are from me. They're all shit that I've said in the past, like that I've said when I was in the zone. So it's all me. It's not like it's like some other person. Like I can learn to be attractive me better than I can be attractive somebody else. Mystery method is ultimately flawed in a lot of different ways. Like there's a lot of things that he did wrong in game, and he was just unwilling and too egotistical to change them at a certain point. So once he got famous, I feel he got too big ahead, and he thought that his system was too perfect and he was too smart and there's no way like they could get any better, which was flawed. He should have kept improving it, and like he should have moved into something different. But honestly, he had too big an ego. He was too buried in the hole, like, which is why, like, you know, you see most famous people that fall apart. That's the big reason, is they get too big an ego. They're unwilling to like learn new shit. Like understanding that you don't know everything, and you don't probably even know 90% of the world, like to an exact degree. You got to be a fluid entity. You can't be like so fucking rigid as Mystery was. It's the reason he fell off. No offense to Mystery, love him, created the game, fucking G, straight up G for even creating this shit. The fact that he approached that much to create this system says something about him. Like it shows like he had to have done a lot of fucking approaches to like come to this system, like a lot of fucking approaches, because a lot of the shit he does teach is very exact and correct. Like a good portion of it is correct, but there's too big a portion of it too that's wrong, and that's why like Mystery Method ultimately is a flawed system. Like if he kept improving and wasn't so egotistical about it, he could have kept improving it to a point where game reached another level. If you guys look him up, he's still teaching the exact same system to this day, even though there's other people out there who currently have better game than he does, who are getting better results. He has such a big ego around this shit that he was unwilling to learn, which is why most people fall off. This is why a lot of people who get success fail. All right, guys, that's very much all I wanted to get out there. If you guys have any questions, leave them below. With that being said, peace out.
Which is quite disappointing, but in the back of my head, I can't help but think, he's a cool fucking cat.